Hello everyone, welcome to the 40th episode of me learning how to trade using Forex. So in the last episode we went through what can you trade, when can you trade Forex for the Tokyo session. We made some notes throughout all of this right here, and now we're currently doing when can you trade Forex London session. So yeah, let's get started. When can you trade Forex London session? Just when Asian market participants are starting to close shop, their European counterparts are just beginning their day. While there are several financial centres all around Europe, it is London that market participants keep their eyes on. Historically, London has always been at the centre of trade thanks to its strategic location. Today, London benefits from its time zone. London's morning overlaps with late trading in Asia, and London's afternoon overlap with New York City. Right, okay, so London session characteristics. London's morning overlaps with late trading in Asia, and London's afternoon overlaps with New York City. It's no wonder that it is considered the Forex capital of the world, with thousands of folks making transactions every single minute. About 43% of all Forex transactions happen in London. Some traders also refer to London session as a European trading session. That's because aside from London, there are major financial centres open in Europe as well, such as Geneva, Frankfurt, Zurich, Luxembourg, Paris, Hamburg, Edinburgh, and Amsterdam. Edinburgh and Amsterdam. We built a Forex market hours tool that will automatically convert all 4 trading sessions into your local time zone. Use it as a reference until remember the market hours from memory. Below is a table of the London session pip ranges of the major currency pairs. So Euro USD 83, GBP USD 82, USD JPY 36, AUD USD 60, NCD USD 64, USD CAD 66, USD CHF 58, EUR JPY 80, GBP/JPY 102, AUD JPY 86, UR GBP 40, UR CHF 30. These pip values are calculated using averages of past data. Take note that these are not absolute values, can vary depending on liquidity and other market conditions. Yep. Also, the session range for EUR CHF has not been included since. It is included though, since the Swiss franc has been pegged to the euro at 1.2000 during the period. Well, this has just been a copy and paste from the Japan session, I think, or this bit here. Here are some neat facts about the European session. Because London session crosses with the 2 other major trading sessions, and with London being such a key financial centre, a large chunk of Forex transactions take place during this time. This leads to high liquidity and potentially lower transaction cost, i.e. lower pip spreads. So, leading to high liquidity and potentially lower transaction costs, i.e. lower pip spreads. Due to the large number of transactions that take place, the London trading session is normally the most volatile session. London session, normally the most volatile session. Most trends begin during the London session and they typically will continue until the beginning of the New York session. So, most trends begin in the London session and will typically continue until the beginning of the New York session. Volatility tends to die down in the middle of the session, as traders often go off to eat lunch before waiting for the New York trading period to begin. Vol tends to die down in the middle of the session. Trends can sometimes reverse at the end of London sessions, as European traders may decide to lock in profits. Trends can sometimes reverse at the end of the London session. Which pairs should you trade? Because of the volume of transactions that take place, there is so much liquidity during the European session that almost any pair can be traded. Of course, it may be best to stick with the majors, as these normally have the tightest spreads. Stick with trading the major pairs. Also, it is these pairs that are normally directly influenced by any news reports that come out during the European sessions. You can also try the yen crosses, more specifically EUR-JPY and GBP-JPY, as these tend to be pretty volatile at this time. Yen crosses such as EUR-JPY and GBP/JPY tend to be volatile. Because these are cross pairs, the spreads might be a little wider though. But spreads might be wider. Next up, we have the New York session, a jungle where dreams are made of. Hey, isn't that an Alicia Keys song? Right, okay. When can you trade Forex? New York session. New York session. Characteristics. Right as European traders getting back from their lunch breaks, the US session begins at 8 AM Eastern Time as traders start rolling into the office. Just like Asia and Europe, the US session has one major financial center that the market keeps their eyes on. We're talking, of course, about the city that never sleeps. New York City, baby, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, Empire State Mind Life, okay. About 17% of all Forex transactions happen in New York. Some traders also refer to the New York session as the North American trading session. There's a North American trading session. That's because aside from New York, there are major financial centers open in North America as well, such as Toronto and Chicago. Below is a table of the New York session pip ranges of the major currency pairs. Yeah. Okay, these pip values are calculated, but past data, not absolute, The New York session split into 3. New York can actually be divided into 3 sessions. morning session, lunch session or lunch hour, afternoon session. Oh, right, okay, can be divided into 3 sections. Morning, which is 8 AM till 12 PM Eastern Time. Lunch, 12 PM to 1 PM Eastern Time, and afternoon, which is 1 PM till 4 PM Eastern Time. Most of the action happens during the morning session. Most of the happens during the morning session. Technically, the New York afternoon session doesn't really end until 5 PM EST, but trading activity typically dies when the US stock market closes, which is 4 PM, so it's not really safe to trade beyond that time. Tips on trading the New York session. Here are some tips you should know about trading during the New York session. There is high liquidity during the morning as it overlaps with the European session. High liquidity during the morning as it overlaps with the EU session. Most economic reports are released near the start of the New York session. Remember, about 85% of all trades involve the dollar, so whenever big time US economic data is released, it has the potential to move the markets. Economic reports are released near the start of the New York session. Once European markets close this shop, liquidity and volatility tend to die down during the afternoon US session. Once European markets close this shop, liquidity and volatility tend to die down during the afternoon session. Liquidity and volatility tend to die down during the afternoon US session. There is very little movement Friday afternoon, as Asian traders are out singing karaoke bars whilst European traders head off to the pub to watch the soccer match. Okay. Very little movement Friday afternoon. Also on Fridays, there is the chance of reversals in the second half of the session. There is also a chance of reversal in the second half of the US session. In the second half of the session, as US traders close their positions ahead of the weekend in order to limit exposure to any weekend news. As traders close their positions ahead of the weekend in order to limit exposure to any weekend news. Which pairs should you trade? Take note that there will be a ton of liquidity as both the US and European markets will be open at the same time. You can bet that the banks and multinational multinational companies are burning up the telephone wires. This allows you to trade virtually any pair, although it would be best if you stuck to the major minor pairs and avoid those weird ones. Yep. Also, because the US dollar is on the other side of the majority of the transactions, everybody will be paying attention to the US data that is released. Should these reports come in better or worse than expected, it could dramatically shake up the markets, as the dollar will be jumping up and down. Confused about which sessions start when? We made a next section just for you. Okay, so high liquidity, I think we know that one. Yeah, virtually any pair, we got that. Okay. Best times of day to trade Forex. Quick pop quiz, what time of the day are TV ratings highest? If you said during prime time, then you would be correct. What does this do with trading sessions? Well, just like TV ratings, aka liquidity, are at their highest when there are more people participating in the markets. Liquidity is at their highest when there are more people participating in the market. So, when is the best time to trade Forex? Logically, you would think that this happens during the overlap between the two sessions. If you thought that way, you would only be half right. Let's discuss some of the characteristics of the two overlap sessions to see why. Tokyo-London overlap. Is that the Eiffel Towers? Okay. Liquidity during this session is pretty thin for a few reasons. Typically there isn't as much movement during the Asian sessions, so once the afternoon hits, it's pretty much a snooze fest. Wait, but they just said that high liquidity and potential... What? Liquidity during this session is pretty much thin for a few reasons. Typically there isn't as much movement during the Asian session, so once the afternoon hits, it's pretty much a snooze fest. There isn't much movement during the Asian session. Oh, liquidity can sometimes be very thin. So, Tokyo, London overlap. Thin liquidity during the overlap. As much as snooze fest, with European traders just starting to get to the offices, trading can be boring as liquidity dries up. This would be an ideal time to take a chill pill, play some putt-putt golf, or look for potential trades to take for the London and New York sessions. Plan ahead. Time. London, New York overlap. London, New York overlap. Is there a New York Tokyo overlap? No, probably not. According to the latest data from FX Liquidity, an analytic service for the Forex markets, liquidity is at an optimum level around 10 AM and 3 PM London time. Liquidity is at the optimum level around 10 AM and 3 PM London time. Use our Forex market hours tool to find your local time conversion. So that's 10 AM 3 PM for us. This is when the real shebang begins. You can literally hear traders crack their knuckles during this time because they know they have their work cut out for them. This is the busiest time of the day as traders from the two largest financial centres, London and New York, begin duking it out. It is during this period where we can see some big moves, especially when news reports from the US and Canada are released. The market can also be hit by late news coming out of Europe. If any trends were established during the European session, we could see the trend continue as the US traders start jumping and establish positions after reading up what happened earlier in the day. So US traders could continue the trend set by the EU traders set by the EU session. Lastly, it's important to know that it's during this period where the WM/Refinitiv spot benchmark rate is determined. What is that? I'll read that through later, I guess. The rate is set at 4 PM London time, also known as the London fix. A currency fixing is a set time each day when the prices of a currency for commercial transactions are set or fixed. The rate is set at 5. It's not a currency London fix. London fix is set at 4 PM London time. This is a set time each day when the prices of currencies for commercial transactions are fixed. Since currency prices fluctuate from second to second, a daily reference point is needed. Daily reference point is needed. Since currency prices fluctuate from second to second, a reference point is needed. A daily reference point is needed. Banks and other financial institutes use this daily rate to set their currency exchange rates, which in turn determines the price used in corporate foreign exchange transactions. Banks and other financial institutes use this daily rate to set their currency exchange rates. Other financial institutes set this, use this daily rate to set their currency exchange rates. Which in turn determines the prices used in corporate foreign exchange transactions. Which determines the prices used in corporate foreign exchange transactions. From a trading standpoint, this daily fix may see a flurry of trading in the market prior, generally 15 to 30 minutes to the trading fix to the fixing time, that abruptly disappears exactly at the fixing time. Wait, what? From a trading standpoint, this daily fix may see a flurry of trading in the market prior to the fixing time that abruptly disappears exactly. Oh, right, okay, so everyone's trying to rush, get the trades done before the fixing time actually happens. Means that there be a flurry of trades happening prior to the fixing, and which abruptly disappears exactly at the fixing time. Lastly, some European traders may be closing their positions as their day ends, which could lead to some choppy moves right before lunchtime in the US. Also, may be closing their positions as their day ends, which could see the choppy moves right before lunchtime in the US. Best day of the week to trade Forex. So now we know that the London session is the busiest out of all the other sessions, but there are also certain days in the week where all the markets tend to show more movement. Know the best day of the week to trade Forex. Below is a chart of the average pip range for the major pairs of each day of the week. Wait, in the last slide did I? Liquidities are the highest when okay, I did right, okay, yeah. That's fine. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday looks like to be the 3 most busy days. Actually, Friday. No, wait, this is the busiest, right? Tuesday or Thursday looks to be the busiest. And then what else? Friday looks to be busy as well. I think everyone's just closing their trade before like the weekend comes. Sunday's barely anyone's trading. Monday the week's only started, so everyone's, I guess, I don't know, can't be arsed or something. As you can see from the chart above, it's best to trade during the middle of the week, since this is when the most action happens. I am going to write best the middle of the week, but do check Friday. Friday is usually busy until 12 PM Eastern Time, and then the market pretty much drops dead until it closes at 5 PM Eastern Time. This means you only work half days on Fridays. The weekend always starts early. Yippee! So based on all these, we've learned when the busiest and best days of the week to trade Forex are. It's usually busy up until lunch time, until 12 PM Eastern Time. Then drops until 5 PM Eastern Time. So based on all these, we learned when the busiest and the best days of the week to trade Forex are. The busiest times are usually best times to trade, since high volatility tends to present more opportunities. Managing yo time wisely. Unless you're Edward Cullen, who does not sleep, there is no way you can trade all sessions. Even if you could, why would you? While the Forex market is open 24 hours daily, it doesn't mean that action happens all the time. Besides, sleep is an integral part of a healthy lifestyle. You need to sleep to recharge and have energy so that you can do even the most mundane tasks like mowing the lawn, talking to your spouse, taking dog for a walk, organising your stamp collection. You'll definitely need your rest if you plan on becoming a hotshot currency trader. Every trader should learn when to trade. Actually, scratch that. Every trader should know when to trade and when not to trade. Knowing the optimal times you should trade and times when you should sit out and just play some Fortnite instead. What? Unless you play Fortnite a little too much already. Here's a quick cheat sheet of the best and worst times to trade. When two sessions are overlapping, of course. There are also times when major news events come out to potentially spark some more volatility and directional movements. When major news events come out, make sure you bookmark the market hours cheat sheet. Take note of the opening closing times. Remember each session's opening and closing times. You can also use our Forex market time zone converter, which automatically displays which trading sessions is open your local time. The European session tends to be busiest out of all three. EU session tends to be the busiest. The middle of the week typically shows the most movement. Middle of the week tends to show the most movement as the pip range widens for most of the major currency pairs. Let's trade Germany. I can delete that then. Worst times to trade. Sundays. Everyone's sleeping or enjoying their weekend. Sundays. Fridays. Liquidity dies down during the latter part of the US session. Dies down during the latter part of the US session. Holidays. Holidays. Major news events. You don't want to get whipsawed. Whipsawed. Major news events. When you just broke up with a significant other because you chose Forex trading over him or her, wait until the next London session instead. Okay. Can't seem to trade during the optimal sessions? Don't fret. You can always be a swing or position trader. We'll get back to that later. Meanwhile, let's move on to how you can actually make money trading currencies. Excited? You should be. Quiz time. When can you trade Forex? Like in all things you do, you need to have a schedule on trading Forex. Yep. Based on the average pip movement per session, during which session does USD have the most movement? London. Historically, London has always been at the centre of trade, thanks to its strategic location. It's no wonder that it is considered the Forex capital of the world, with thousands of businessmen making transactions every single minute. About 30% of all Forex transactions happen during London sessions. I thought it was like 47 or something. What time does Tokyo session start in late November? This one is, I have no idea. This one? Wrong, okay. Actual open and close times are based on local business hours. This varies during the months of October and April as some countries shift to from daylight savings time. The day within each month that a country may shift to or from daylight saving times also varies. During winter, October, November to March, April, the Tokyo session starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time or 12 a.m. GMT. Which among these choices isn't one of the major trading sessions in the Forex market? The Forex session can be broken up into 4 major trading sessions: the Sydney session, Tokyo session, London session, and Pip Gore's favourite time to trade, the New York session. One of the busiest times in the market. Session overlaps. You can see that in between each Forex trading session, there is a period of time where 2 sessions are open at the same time. During the summer, from 3 to 4 a.m. EDT, the Tokyo session and the London session overlap, and during both summer and winter from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, the London session and the New York sessions overlap. Naturally, these are the busiest times during the trading day because there is much more volume when 2 markets open at the same time. Name 2 of the main market participants during the Asian session. Wait, during the Asian session, it's pretty much exporters, isn't it? So it's low liquidity. So if it's low liquidity, commercial exporters and central banks. The main market participants during Tokyo sessions are commercial companies, exporters, and central banks. Remember, Japan's economy is heavily export dependent, and with China also being a major current trade player, there are lots of transactions taking place on a daily basis. Central banks. Approximately how much of the Forex transaction? Oh, because low liquidity, then it's not really attractive for traders to just go in because they can't make that much profit. So, yeah. Approximately how much of Forex transactions take place during the London session? That's 43. Correct, about 43% of all Forex transactions happen during the London session. When is liquidity highest during the New York session? When it laps to the European it can't lap with the Tokyo. There is high liquidity during the morning as it overlaps with the European session. Yep. Which is one of the characteristics of the London session? High volatility. Due to the large amount of transactions that take place, the London trading session is normally the most volatile session. Based on the average pip range per day, which are the best days to trade? Middle of the week, so Tuesday to Thursday. Looking at the chart of average pip range for the major pairs for each day of the week, it would probably be best to trade during the middle of the week, since this is when the most action happens. Yep. True or false? Liquidity is lower when there are more people participating in markets. False. A large chunk of Forex transactions take place leads to higher liquidity and potentially lower transaction costs, i.e. lower pip spreads. Which is the busiest time of the trading day? That doesn't exist. Tokyo, there's nothing happening. London, New York, over that. This is when the real shebang begins. You can literally hear the traders crack their knuckles during this time because they know they have their work cut out for them. This is the busiest time of day as traders from the 2 largest financial centres, London and New York, begin duking it out. They just copy and pasted this in, didn't they? Which day of the week has the largest potential for reversals? It's Friday because I think everyone's closing out the trade, so yeah. Liquidity dies down during the latter part of the US session. Nice. Cool. Okay, so save this one. Forex market structure. For the sake of comparison, let's us first examine a market that most folks are probably very familiar with, the stock market. This is how the structure of the stock market looks like. Centralized market: buyers buy, sellers sell, master of the universe, one price, and controls the spread. By its very nature, the stock markets tend to be very monopolistic. There is only one entity, one specialist that controls prices. All traders must go through this specialist. Because of this, price can easily be altered to benefit the specialist and not traders. How does this happen? In the stock market, the specialist is forced to fulfill the orders of its clients. Now let's say the number of sellers suddenly exceed the number of buyers. The specialist, which is forced to fulfill the order of his clients, the sellers in this case, is left with a bunch of stock that he cannot sell off to the buyer side. In order to prevent this from happening, the specialist simply widen the spread or increase the transaction cost to prevent sellers from entering the market. In other words, the specialist can manipulate the quotes it is offering to accommodate their needs. Right. Ooh, the stock market is okay. I did not know that's how the stock market works. Trading spot FX is decentralized. Unlike in the trading stocks or futures, you don't need to go through a centralized exchange like the New York Stock Exchange with just one price. In the Forex market, there is no single price for a given currency at any time, which means quotes from different currency dealers vary. Decentralized market: Bank 1, Bank 2, Bank 2, Bank 2, Bank 2, Bank 3, Jane, Shia LaBeouf, Warren Buffett, Market Maker, EACN, Reuters Machine, Pip Crawler, Jane. So many choices, awesome. This might be overwhelming at first, but this is what makes the Forex market so freaking awesome. The market is so large and the competition between dealers is so fierce that you get the best deal almost every single time. And tell me, who does not want that? Also, one thing about Forex trading is that you can do it anywhere. It's just like trading Jordans or rare handbags. You want that mint condition Air Jordan 4 Retro M&M Encore 2017, so it is up to you to find the best deal out there. The FX ladder. Even though the Forex market is decentralized, it isn't pure and utter chaos. The participants in the FX market can be organized into a ladder. To better understand what we mean, here's a neat illustration. The Forex market hierarchy: major banks at the top, electronic brokering services, routers dealing 3,000 spot matching, medium-sized and small banks, retail market makers, retail ECNs, hedge funds and commercial companies, retail traders. At the very top of the Forex market ladder is the interbank market. Composed of the largest banks in the world, participants of this market trade directly with each other, bilaterally or through voice or electronic brokers such as EBS market or routers matching. They trade directly with each other. The competition between two companies, EBS and routers, now rebranded as Refinitiv, is similar to Coke and Pepsi. Now rebranded as Refinitiv. Oh, that's where the Refinitiv from last lesson came from, or the lesson we just watched right now. Or, not right now, we just watched like a few minutes ago. They are in a constant battle for clients and continually try to one-up each other for market share. Whilst both companies offer most currency pairs, some currency pairs are more liquid on one than the other. For the EBS platform, EUR-USD, USD-JPY, EUR-JPY, EUR-CHF and USD-CHF are the most more liquid. Meanwhile, for the routers platform, GBP-USD, EUR-GBP, USD-CAD, AUD-USD and NZD-USD are more liquid. So there's basically no overlap of the currencies between them. That's interesting. All the banks that are part of the interbank market can see the rates of that each other is offering, but this doesn't necessarily mean that anyone can make deals at those prices. Like in real life, the rates will be largely dependent on the established credit relationship between the trading parties. It's like asking for a loan at your local bank. The better your credit standing and reputation with them, the better the interest rates and the larger loan you can get. Next on the ladder are hedge funds, corporations, retail market makers, and retail ECNs. So these people. Since these institutions do not have tight credit relationships with the participants of the interbank market, they have to do their transactions via commercial banks. So that's medium and small sized banks. This means that their rates are slightly higher and more expensive than those who are part of the interbank markets. At the very bottom of the ladder are non-professional traders known as the retail traders. Normal people, I think. It used to be very hard for us little people to engage in the Forex market, but thanks to the advent of the internet, electronic trading and retail brokers, the difficult barriers to entry in Forex trading have all been taken down. This gave us the chance to play with those high up in the ladder. This gave us the chance to play with those high up the ladder and poke them with a very long and cheap stick. Now that you know what the Forex market structure, let's get to know them Forex market players. Okay, cool. So I'm going to leave this episode here. Thank you guys for watching. In the next video we're going to go through the Forex market players, as they called it. So yeah, see you then. Peace.